¿Qué tal, amigos?
Habla Selena y los dinos y ahora vamos a ver...
You don't listen to
Oh, los dinos, sorry.
Alright, let's do it again, come on.
¿Qué ready?
¿Qué tal, amigos?
Habla Selena y
los dinos.
Y ahora vamos a ver el más reciente video aquí en
Onda Más.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be discussing the life of the biggest Tejano singer to emerge out of Tejas, Selena Quintanilla Perez. She is a woman who is admired by the Latina community for proudly representing her Mexican culture, embracing her dark complexion, and helping bring Spanish music to the mainstream American music industry. In this video, I'll be showing you how to achieve Selena's makeup and hair, discuss her style while recreating some of her iconic outfits, and visiting a couple cities in Texas, stopping by the many places Selena once stepped foot on. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video for Selenas! Born in Lake Jackson, Texas on April 16, 1971, which makes her an Aries, Selena is the youngest member of the Quintanilla family. Her parents are Abraham Jr., who also goes by Abe, and Marcela Quintanilla. Her older brother is Abraham III, who also goes by AB, and her older sister is Suzette. In his youth, Abe was part of a band called Los Dinos. Unfortunately, the band didn't reach commercial success and broke up. The Quintanillas relocated to Lake Jackson, where Abe would start working for a chemical corporation to support his family. Abe recognized Selena's singing capability when she was just 6 years old. He passed down his passion for music and skills to his children and started a family band called Southern Pearl. In Lake Jackson, Abe bought a restaurant in the early 80s called Papagayos, where his children would start performing in front of small crowds. The restaurant was only open for less than a year until the economic recession hit. The family lost the restaurant and had to relocate to El Campo, Texas for a brief moment. The Quintanilla family earned money by performing at fairs and parties. From there, they saved up enough money to buy a home in Corpus Christi. They also changed the band name to Selena y los Dinos and recorded their first record in 1983, which was released in 1984. Some of Selena's musical influences include Gloria Estefan, Janet Jackson, Rocío Dúrcal, Whitney Houston, and Jody Watley. Even though the band began performing in English, Selena had to learn Spanish because her father thought it would be a better fit for the band to perform Tejano music. Learning Spanish also benefited Selena by establishing a connection to her Mexican roots. However, entering into the Tejano music industry was difficult because the genre was dominated by men.
La música tejana fue un poquito difícil para nosotros porque naturalmente soy mujer. Mi papá tenía muchos problemas de tener shows o presentaciones porque la razón fue porque hay muchos hombres que no piensan que la mujer puede agarrar a la gente o al público así como en un hombre, pero wrong.
Selena y los Dinos' hard work eventually paid off when they signed with EMI Latin and released their self-titled album Selena in 1989. From this point forward, the band began to expand and receive more media recognition, and Selena rose to fame. Selena loved all things beauty. She wanted to launch a makeup and perfume line, but she never got to see those dreams come to life. The family actually collaborated with MAC to release 2 collections in 2016 and 2020. Selena was also working in collaboration with Leonard Wong to release a perfume.
Out the Selena perfume, and it's gonna smell like chorizo and huevos.
And she always applied makeup herself before any performance. So it's time to begin the makeover. I applied my foundation, concealer, and powder off camera and kept the look matte because that was the popular makeup trend back in the 90s. So to start off, I'm building up my contour and keeping it on the sides of my cheeks. I'm also going to contour my forehead, down my nose, and my jaw. Next, I'm taking a deep rose colored blush and applying it heavily on top of my contour, blending it away and adding more until I reach the desired look. In the 90s, thin arched brows were the trend that Selena followed. I'm beginning by brushing out my eyebrows into a rounded, thin shape. Then I'm taking a dark brown pencil to color them in. To create a thin, arched, rounded eyebrow, I softened the look by brushing out my hairs. I tried to thin out my eyebrows as much as possible, but I felt like they still weren't thin enough. So to help create a thinner brow, I concealed any hairs I didn't want showing, and then went back to darken and define them with my brow pencil. Selena's eye makeup is simple and only takes 3 matte neutral shadows to recreate. First, I'm going to take a bone-colored shadow close to my skin tone and set it all over my lid, inner corner, and brow bone. Next, I'm taking a deep matte brown, blending it back and forth only in my crease. Finally, I'm taking a light gray color and blending it with a brown up from my crease. I then took a clean makeup brush to ensure that the shadows were blended out perfectly. I reapplied the bone color on my lid and brow bone to help brighten those areas. I also applied the brown shadow on my bottom lash line and reapplied the bone color to my inner corner to brighten and define those areas of my eyes. Just like any other 90s Latina baddie, Selena always created a black bold liner on her eyes. If you have a small lid space, make sure to leave room so the shadow is still visible when you look straight ahead. The wing of her eyeliner was kept thinner and short. The mascara Selena used is the Great Lash Waterproof Mascara by Maybelline in Very Black, which is on display at the museum and still available in stores. So I went ahead and bought it to recreate an authentic Selena makeup look. And that is the completed eye look. For lips, I'm giving you 2 options. The first lipstick I used is Soft Silver Rose from Revlon, which Selena used in her Astrodome performance in 1995. The lip product Selena most often used was the Chanel Lip Duo in the color Brick, which has been discontinued, but I also read that she sometimes used Russian Red by MAC, which is what I used for the second lip option. And that completes the makeup. So alongside her makeup, Selena was also in charge of styling her own hair for shows. Selena was experimental with her hair growing up and tried out several looks, including perms and a short bob, before letting it grow out to her look that we associate with her today. Some hairstyles Selena would often create include a half up, half down pony, styled updos with chongos, or a slick back bun. For this video, I'm recreating her long black hair with choppy bangs. I purchased the wig at my local beauty store.
I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this hair. I felt Puerto Rican.
And my sister helped me style the hair by cutting out bangs. First, I went ahead and separated the bangs from my hair and curled them. Then I used a roller to help create volume in my bangs. I straightened the rest of the wig but allowed it to still have some waves. And that's all you have to do to recreate Selena's hair. To complete the Selena transformation, we need to go over Selena's personal style both on and off stage. From a young age, Selena began creating outfits for her performances.
Todos eran blancos, ¿no? Pues sí, naturalmente.
Splattered it with fluorescent paint, permanent paint, fluorescent paint.
Ok, y la gente que nos está escuchando en México, ¿cómo saben qué hicieron?
Los pintaron.
The most iconic garments she wore has to be the bras that she would embroider and pair with high-waisted pants and boots. Another look that is very iconic are the bodysuits that Selena designed with elements inspired by the 70s and 80s, paired with bolero jackets.
Well, when I'm not performing or I don't have to do special TV things, I like to be like this, relaxed, just like anybody else. This is more for show.
Suzette described Selena's at-home style as stripped down from what you would see in shows. Some closet staples include crop tops, oversized shirts, and mom jeans. The looks I created to wear on my Texas trip are based on the shows she performed at the Houston Astrodome. The group first performed there in 1993. She wore a bedazzled sailor hat that matched her embroidered bustier, high-waisted black pants, a black belt with a western buckle that also matched her hat and bra. I wore this outfit on the first day of my trip in El Paso. To recreate this look, I bought a black sailor hat off Amazon and added silver rhinestones to the brim. I wore silver hoop earrings, a silver sequin crop top, black leggings with a black belt, and boots that I spray painted with silver glitter. On my second day in El Paso, I wore an all-white ensemble that references Selena's 1994 Astrodome performance. This is my favorite look that I recreated. Selena wore white drop pearl earrings, a white bra that she embroidered with pearls, high-waisted vinyl pants, and boots that Suzette said Selena also embroidered. So I bought some earrings off of Depop that look similar to the ones that she wore. I bought a bra at my local thrift, then embroidered the pearls on and hot glued some rhinestones. And with the help of my grandma and sister, I also embroidered these boots, which took the longest time to make out of all the garments I made for this lookbook. On the third day of my trip in San Antonio, I wore an outfit that resembles the look Selena wore in her music video for Amor Prohibido. The red shirt worn in the music video belongs to Chris. Selena would often take his shirts and tie them at the waist. She also wore black high-waisted mom jeans. I decided to add more to this look by adding a white cowboy hat with pearls around the rim because she also added jewels to the cowboy hats she made and later sold in stores. I also embroidered Amor Prohibido on the back of the shirt, purple hearts on the front pocket, and Como la Flor on one leg of the pants. The final outfit I wore in Corpus Christi is inspired by the 1995 Astrodome performance. This outfit is by far the most recognizable and iconic look worn by Selena because she wore this at her last televised performance in front of 60,000 people. The outfit consists of a purple bodysuit that has an open front and back bodice. It meets the flared pants at the waist, and she also wore a bolero jacket with large pointed shoulder pads that she later takes off during the show. I used a deep purple bodysuit to try to match her outfit, which has an open back. I wore a burgundy top that I just tied in the middle. I added earrings with purple rhinestones to accessorize a bit. And I'm also actually selling some of these pieces I've made on my Depop, so if you're interested in them, go check them out there. And let me know which Selena outfit is your favorite in the comments. And that basically concludes the whole Selena transformation. Alright, so moving on to the Texas vlog. I visited Texas back in August of 2022. And the cities I visited are El Paso, San Antonio, and Corpus Christi. I took the Flixbus from LA to El Paso, which was a 15-hour drive, but I didn't mind because I prefer a road trip and being able to enjoy the scenery than flying. Plus, it's cheaper. I arrived in downtown El Paso around 3 p.m. where my friend Ariana picked me up. The first thing we did was shop around El Paso Street, where they have a lot of stores, and it reminds me of Pacific Boulevard in Huntington Park. Also, a lot of people in El Paso instantly recognized my outfit as an homage to Selena and complimented it. So if you were one of those kind of people, thank you so much because it meant a lot.
Selena or Selena?
It's Selena.
After we were done exploring downtown, Ariana and I headed up north to see La Casa de Azúcar. Inspired by Mexican Catholic symbolism, the home was built in 1973 by Rufino Loya as a labor of love for his wife. It took about 25 years to complete because the structure was all carved by hand. After, we picked up food at Whataburger, which was my first time trying it.
Whataburgers for everybody!
After resting up at my friend's house, Ari, her husband Harold, and another friend, we all went out for the night, stopping first at Tacos Don Cuco, which had the best horchata I've ever had. Next, we went up to El Paso Star on Scenic Drive, which overlooks downtown El Paso and Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. And the last place we went to was Rubik's Arcade Bar, which is also connected to the Mad Hatter Pub and Grill. We went out just to have some fun, get a couple drinks, and dance the night away. So, funny story, when my friends and I were on the Mad Hatter side of the bar, someone came from the Rubik side and told me my party was waiting for me because they were playing Selena music. So we went over and I gave them a little performance. I know I'm not as great of a performer as she was, but I channeled my inner Selena for this very moment. The next morning, Ariana, Harold, and I got up and ready to head out to El Paso Rose Garden to explore and take cute pictures. The first flowers were planted here in 1958, and today it grows approximately 1,200 rose bushes. It was sprinkling a little before we got there, but it cleared up soon enough, just for the flowers to be freshly hydrated and for us to feel como la flor.
Wow.
It was then time for Harold to drop Ari and I at the Greyhound station to catch our bus to Dallas. Getting to San Antonio was more difficult to get there than expected because our train departing from El Paso to San Antonio was canceled a couple days prior, so we bought a one-way bus ticket to San Antonio from El Paso, but that ride was also canceled the day of our departure. We needed to leave as soon as possible, so the clerk at the El Paso bus stop offered us tickets up to Dallas first, since there was a departing bus headed down to San Antonio the next morning. Even though this was a big inconvenience, we did get to see more of Texas than expected. Unfortunately, we had to cut out some Selena locations from our San Antonio stop. After arriving here around 2 p.m., another friend of Ariana's picked us up and we began the day at the historic market square to go eat lunch at Mi Tierra Cafe and Bakery. AB has stated that this is his favorite restaurant in San Antonio, and the restaurant also holds a Selena shrine along with other deceased people in one corner. After we were done eating, we headed across the plaza to visit El Mercado, which is one of the largest Mexican markets above the Mexican border. And it's a great place to walk around since it's a lively, closed-off street filled with street performers and small shops selling authentic Mexican goods. Once we were done shopping, we visited the Alamo, since you can't forget it when you visit Texas, duh. The mission was established in 1718, making it one of the oldest standing buildings in Texas. The next place we went to was the River Walk. Café Olé is the restaurant where Selena filmed the opening scene for No Me Queda Más. It was an Italian restaurant at the time of filming. We didn't get to eat there, instead we went to a place called Dick's for some drinks where they are rude to you on purpose, and our server was pretty funny to interact with. When we were finished, we walked to the Selena Bridge. It's called the Selena Bridge because a scene was filmed here for the Selena movie. After, we hopped on one of the boats for a tour. San Antonio is considered to be Selena's second home since she frequented the city often. Chris Perez is actually from San Antonio, and they actually headed over here after they eloped to give Selena's father some time to process this news. After we were done exploring the downtown area, we went up to go see the building that once held Selena's second boutique. The only thing that remains here expressing Selena's presence is her name on one of the windows. This location opened up in September of 1994. As I mentioned earlier, Selena began designing her own outfits for shows. Along with the help of designer Martin Gomez, they began producing garments for the boutique to help fulfill one of Selena's dreams of becoming a fashion designer. She also had the opportunity to wear one of her designs in her own fashion show. Chris actually mentioned that if Selena didn't become a singer, she would have wanted to start a career in fashion.
Sueño que yo tengo aparte de la música y gracias a Dios a la gente que, mucha gente que me quiere, me están ayudando muchísimo y que quiero agradecer a ellos. Pero es un sueño realizado, de verdad me siento como algo increíble.
Our next stop was the Alamo candy store, which has the Selena mural on the side that was recently created in 2019 by Alan Calvo. By this time, it was getting late, so our last point of interest is located in front of the North Star Mall, the world's largest cowboy boots, standing at 35 feet tall and 33 feet long. We called it a night because we had to wake up early around 5 a.m. to catch the morning bus down to Corpus Christi. The trip from San Antonio to Corpus only took 2 hours. I will say that I wasn't sure what to expect from Corpus, but arriving there, we can see that Selena had humble upbringings in the Molina barrio. When our bus dropped us off, we picked up our car rental and checked into our Airbnb. I also wanted to include an extra Selena outfit by Ariana. She wore a cropped white shirt and a maxi blue skirt with a flower print, very identical to what Selena wore in her music video, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam. The first stop in Corpus was the Selena Boutique. Today, it's a real estate business, but back when Selena opened the boutique in January 1994, the boutique sold clothing and offered salon services, including haircuts, pedicures, and manicures.
Sold.
Our second stop was a Thai market food store located in the Molina barrio. This small business has a Selena mural on the side of the building that replaced an older one. This newer mural was created by San Sillenes in 2019 and was commissioned by the Quintanilla family. I can imagine that Selena probably visited this store because her home is located down the street from the business. It only took a minute to drive down to the houses where the Quintanillas lived. The house in the middle is where the family moved once they were able to save up money from performing at fairs and parties. Abe bought the other two properties, giving the one on the far left to his son AB, and the one on the right is where Selena and Chris moved into 3 months after their elopement. Selena always wanted children of her own, but with Chris they had their own little farm. The last photo of Selena alive was taken inside the home by Chris's father. It's a picture of Selena and Chris working on their taxes. Ari and I finally had a chance to eat breakfast, and we ate at one of Selena's favorite places, the Hi Ho restaurant. I have to say that this place gave us the best meal overall on our Texas trip. I got the nopalitos plate a la mexicana. This was the first place where I actually experienced some southern hospitality by our waitress and one of the co-owners, who instantly recognized us as Selena fans from out of state. And he also gave us a mini tour of the establishment. After breakfast, we headed to the Selena Museum. This building used to be a mechanical shop that was bought by the Quintanillas to establish their headquarters. Upon entering the building, you pass the lobby into the recording studio, where Selena and SBK Records produced music for her crossover album. It was Selena's biggest dream to produce an English album. Unfortunately, it was never completed, but it did debut as the #1 album on the US Billboard 200 upon its release in July 1995. After exiting the studio, you enter a long hallway, and behind the Selena door is the actual museum. Even though it is a small museum, I will only go over my favorite things I saw. There are many photos y recuerdos on display. Against one wall are the records Selena produced, and I highly recommend fans to go back and listen to her earlier music. In the middle of the room, Selena's outfits are on display. Some of my favorites include the leather jacket and ruffly white shirt she wore for the cover of Amor Prohibido, this green sequined bodysuit with broad shoulder pads, flared legs, and an exposed stomach with jewels around the hem is stunning. This mirror chain dress was definitely ahead of its time. This is her Grammy dress, which was designed by Lily Rubin. The all-white outfit she wore for her 1994 Astrodome performance. The iconic purple suit. And the white dress that she wore to close out her fashion show. There are so many other pieces from her closet on display in the museum. I want to briefly mention her Astrodome performance. It was a dream of Selena to perform there, and the band played 3 years in a row.
And I remember when Michael Jackson had played there, I thought to myself, wow, that'd be really neat if one day, it ever gets to the point, where we can play there.
Another fact that I wanted to mention is that Selena also had an interest in starring in film and TV. She guest starred in a telenovela called Dos Mujeres, Un Camino, and she also made a brief cameo in the movie Don Juan de Marco. Against the other wall, there were original sketches of outfits Selena created on the walls. Inside these display cases were more personal items Selena used to own, like these Hard Rock Hotel pins with Selena's name on them. I really enjoyed looking through her makeup and jewelry case. I can tell that Chanel was one of her favorite brands, and her favorite perfume Boucheron was also on display. The next display case holds Selena's dolls, and I especially like the Selena brooch with 2 birds joined by a heart. Her cell phone was fascinating because I've never seen an actual 90s cell phone. At the corner of the museum is Selena's microphone that she used, which is covered in her lipstick. This next display case holds Selena's egg collection. alongside some Selena dolls. Chris mentioned in his book that Selena was fascinated with Fabergé eggs because they represent the beginning of life. The ring that was given to her by her killer also had an egg in the middle, but this ring is lost forever because I read that Abe threw the ring into the Gulf of Mexico. Selena was placed into a homeschooling program after the 8th grade to dedicate her time performing, but that didn't stop her from graduating high school in 1988. Selena continued her education by enrolling in Pacific Western University. She participated in several charitable events, advocated for women who suffered from domestic violence, and visited schools to encourage children to continue their education.
Music is not a very stable business. You know, it comes and it goes, and so does money. But your education stays with you for the rest of your life. And when you have that education and you have nothing to fall back on, you can go and get a job anywhere.
Selena won many awards in her lifetime. The first time she was honored was at the 1986 Tejano Music Awards for Female Vocalist of the Year, and from there on, she consecutively won this award up until 1997. However, her biggest recognition came in 1994 when she won Best Mexican American Album for Live Selena, which she performed and recorded in Corpus Christi in 1993.
I'd like to thank my band, Los Dinos, my father, Abraham, my brother, who's a producer of my music, and also my sister. Thank you for all the support. And I'd also like to thank all the my Latin family. Thank you for having faith in me. I love you. Thank you.
The last thing I want to show y'all in the museum is Selena's 1987 semi-convertible red Porsche, which was previously owned by Chris, but he gave it to her after he saw that Selena preferred it more than the car that she previously owned. Ari and I stayed in the museum until it closed, but we were able to get some items from the gift shop. Before we left to our next location, we looked at the tour buses at the end of the parking lot. Big Bertha is a red bus in which Selena grew up in and spent a lot of time with her family and friends, going around different cities in Texas on tour. The next location is around the corner from the museum. The Red Roof Inn used to be the Days Inn back in the 90s, and this is the motel where Selena met with her killer in what is now room 150. I'm not going to go into too much detail about her passing just because I want to keep a lighter tone for this video. I will link a video down below that goes more into detail about what occurred here. Driving east into Corpus, we briefly made a stop by the Nueces County Courthouse, where Selena and Chris got married on April 2nd, 1992. Even though the couple had opposite personalities, they established a friendship first before secretly becoming romantically involved.
A veces es tan tranquilo que tengo que... ¿Está vivo o no?
I recommend reading To Selena with Love, the book Chris wrote, which reveals intimate details about his relationship with Selena. Our next stop was in downtown, closer to the waterfront. We visited the Corpus Christi Visitor Information Center, where I got a lot of information on other things to do the next time I am in Corpus Christi. And if you go around the back of the building, you will see the entrance to the surf club. Past the fountain is Selena's Corpus Christi Star of Fame, and Chris's star is located in front of the visitor center. We drove up north to briefly pass by the American Bank Center, which houses the Selena Auditorium. On April 2nd, 1995, 2 days after Selena's passing, her casket was put on display where more than 60,000 fans paid their final respects.
She was the best. She was the princess of Tejano music.
Even though Corpus Christi is a bit humid, it was still a beautiful warm day. We drove back down to visit our last stop of the day, El Mirador de la Flor. This monument was constructed in 1997 and also served as the focal point of the Fiesta de la Flor, which was a 2-day festival honoring the life of Selena in her hometown. Unfortunately, the festival was discontinued in 2020, but it is still a beautiful spot to remember Selena. There are stairs that you can take down closer to the water, and there are tiles that adorn the side that were painted by Texas children who love Selena. When our day was over, we went back to our Airbnb and watched the Selena movie while getting ready for bed. On the morning of our last day, we still needed to visit one last location before leaving Corpus. Selena passed on March 31st, 1995. Her funeral occurred on April 3rd. She was only 23 when she was taken, 2 days before her third wedding anniversary with Chris, and 2 weeks before what would have been her 24th birthday. Then Governor of Texas George W. Bush declared April 16th as Selena Day in Texas. Several candlelight vigils were being held all over Texas and the country during this time to honor her memory. It is about to be 28 years since she has been gone, but even to this day, she still touches people's hearts.
When you're gone, how do you want to be remembered?
As not only as an entertainer, but as a person who cared a lot, and I gave the best that I could, and I tried to be the best role model that I possibly could, and the best person that I could. I tried to help out.
After paying our respects, we drove along the coast of Corpus Christi, enjoying the ocean views. I love enjoying cute breakfast spots, so we had breakfast at a place called Bien Mérité. They have a variety of cute pastries to try, and the staff was really sweet. It was then time to head to the airport to drop off our carcacha and go home. After doing a lot of research and visiting Corpus, I feel like I know Selena a lot better and have a clearer understanding of what her life was like. And I hope you learned something new as well. It is my dream to travel, and one thing I hope you take away from this video is to always take a chance to follow your dreams, because you never know when those opportunities will slip away. I want to create more travel and fashion videos like this in the future, and it will mean so much if you support me in my journey. So remember to like and subscribe. Comment down what was your favorite thing about this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Para todos los niños que por favor sigan con los estudios y con una vida muy limpia sin uso de drogas, porque todo es posible, lo imposible es posible.
Turn the camera off. I'm so upset.